यमुनातीरावनचार्य जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama Hare Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jaya Srinath Ji Jaya Gopal Ji 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Shri Radha Madhav Bhagwan की जय गौर निताई की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे हरि बोल Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much everyone for attending the Saturday morning Bhagavatam class. Before I start, I'd like to take the blessings from all the Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय 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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. Hare Krishna everyone. So we've been discussing from the 9th chapter, the first canto from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we'll be discussing starting from the 10th verse. Krishnam cha tat prabhavagna Asinam jagadishwaram Hridistham pujayamasa Mayayopakta vigraham Krishnam cha tat prabhavagna Asinam jagadishwaram Hridistham pujayamasa Mayayopakta vigraham कृष्णं च तत्प्रभावज्ञा आसीनं जगदीश्वरम् हृदिस्थं पूजयामास माययोपात विग्रहम्
कृष्णं च तत्प्रभावाद्य आसीनं जगदीश्वरम् हृदिस्थं पूजयामास माययोपात विग्रहम्
कृष्णं च तत्प्रभावज्ञ आसीनं जगदीश्वरम् हृदिस्थं पूजयामास माययोपात विग्रहम्
कृष्णं च तत्प्रभावज्ञा जगदीश्वरम्
आसीनं जगदीश्वरम्
हृदिस्थं पूजयामास माययोपात विग्रहम्
Synonyms: Krishna and to Lord Krishna, Cha also, Tat of him, Prabhavajna the knower of the glories, Bhishma, Asinam sitting, Jagadishwaram the Lord of the universe, Hridistham situated in the heart, Pujayamasa worshipped, Maya by internal potency, Upatta manifested, Vigraham a form. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: Lord Sri Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, yet he manifests his transcendental form by his internal potency. This very Lord was sitting before Bhishma Deva, and since Bhishma Deva knew of his glories, he worshipped him duly. Can someone read the purport?
The Lord's omnipotency is displayed by his simultaneous presence in every place. He is present always in his eternal abode, Goloka Vrindavana, and he is present in everyone's heart and even within every invisible atom. When he manifests his eternal transcendental form in the material world, he does so by his internal potency. The external potency or the material energy has nothing to do with his eternal form. All these truths were known to Sri Bhishma Deva, who worshipped him accordingly.
ओमज्ञातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna.
Hare.
So, for the last few weeks, we've been discussing from the 9th chapter, first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The first verse started like this, that Yudhishthir Maharaj, along with his brothers, goes to visit Bhishma Dev. But before this, something happened. Yudhishthira was despondent. And actually, it was Lord Krishna who convinced Yudhishthira to meet Bhishma. Similar situation was there before the war. Who was despondent? Arjuna. Arjuna was despondent. He told Krishna, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Ratham Sthapai Mechuta. Please take this chariot in between the armies. And then when he saw the armies, he spoke two verses. Drishtvaimam Swajanam Krishna Yuyutsim Samupastitam Sidanti Mama Gatrani Mukham Cha Parishushati Vipatushta Sharire Me Roma Harshascha Jayate Gandhivam Sramsate Hastat Tvakchaiva Paridahyate. By looking at the army of Kauravas, my skin is burning, my body is trembling, my limbs are quivering, and the Gandhiva bow is slipping from my hand. That's what he told. And in the second chapter, 7th verse, he actually gave so many reasons to Krishna for not fighting. And he was saying, we will get simple reactions if we kill the Kauravas, and then how will we enjoy, even if we get the kingdom, with these people only we should enjoy, but these people won't be there. There's so many reasons he gave. And finally, in the second chapter, 7th verse, he says, Karpanya dosho pahata svabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta etsayasya nishchitam bruhitanme shishyasyaham sathi maam tvam prapannam. I do not know what to do, O Krishna. You are my guru and I am your disciple, so please guide me what to do. And then Krishna starts speaking about the Atma, Dehi nosmin yatha dehe, matara sparsha sukhavanteya, all about the Atma, reincarnation, everything he speaks about all the yogas, Dharma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, he speaks about everything. And then he says, Itite Jnanamahyatam, Guhyat Guhyataram Maya, Vimrashaitas Asheshena, Ythechasi Tathakuru. After saying everything, he gave many paths, Karma Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and he told, Idite Jnanam Akhyatam, Guhyat Guhyataramya. I have told you the most confidential knowledge. I have given you everything now. Vimrashaitat Asheshena. So deliberate on this fully and Yathechasi Tathakuru. So and then do what you wish to do. And this is 18.63. In 18.73, Arjuna says, Nashto Moha Smritir Labha Tvat Prasadan Mayachyuta Stitosmi Gata Sandeha Karishe Vachanam Tam. I have gotten out of the illusion that was there and all my doubts are cleared now and I will do what you want me to do. At the end of the Bhagavad Gita. And then Sanjaya gives this Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhute Dhruvanite Matirmama. That means wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is a devotee like Arjuna, so there will be victory, morality, there will be success, everything. And then the war, they won the war as well. So this was Arjuna's history. So Arjuna was despondent, Krishna spoke the whole Bhagavad Gita, and then the war is over, they won the war. And now after the war, Yudhishthira is despondent. Now he is in despair. And then he actually says that just to make me a king, all this happened. There are so many killings happened, so many people got killed, it is only because of me. He was blaming it on himself. We usually see in this world that we blame others for our mistakes. But Srila Prabhupada gives us example of Yudhishthira where he is actually blaming, it's not his mistake, but still he is blaming it on himself. And then now, he somehow, actually first Krishna tried to convince, he did not get convinced, and then Vyasdeva, Dhaumya, who is the minister there, the Rishi of the Pandavas, everyone tried to convince, he didn't get convinced. And also Srila Prabhupada explains in the purports that it is not that Krishna could not convince, he can convince, but he actually wanted to give the glory to Bhishma Dev. And then that's why they went to Bhishma Dev. So in the first 4 verses, it is explained. Now, the class was given by Purushottam Charan Prabhu. So he explained how Krishna and the Pandavas went there. And when he went there, they actually wore all the royal clothes, gold ornaments, when someone is about to die, we do not actually wear those clothes. But there's a reason why they went. Because Bhishma Deva always wanted to see the Pandavas as the rulers, the kings. And that is why they actually went in that royal garments and the gold ornaments and all that. That is what we discussed in the first 4 verses. In the fourth verse, it is also mentioned that when Yudhishthira arrived where Bhishma was there, he actually looked like Kubera, who is the richest man among the heavenly planets. That's how he looked. And Purushottam Prabhu also explained the history of Bhishma Deva and Shantanu, how Bhishma Deva was one of the 8 Vasus, and then they tried to catch this, get this Surabhi cow, the Kamadhenu cow of Vasishta, and they were cursed by Vasishta. And also the story of Shantanu and Ganga, so how they got the curse, and then they came down, and the 7 sons were killed, and the 8th son was saved by Shantanu. So we saw all that story. And then in the next 4 verses, the 5 to 8, it is mentioned how all the great souls from all over the world are assembled. It is mentioned sages like Vashishta, who is Parashurama. There are so many sages who actually came there to visit Bhishma Deva. That's what we discussed. The class was given by Sanatana Dharma Prabhu, so he discussed in detail the greatness of all these sages, the Maharshis and Brahmarshis that assembled there to see Bhishma. In the last class, Haldar Priya Prabhu explained the 9th verse, where Bhishma Deva welcomed all the sages. It is mentioned that he was not in a position to physically welcome everyone. There are rules and regulations how you welcome the sages if they come to your home or wherever you are. But because he was not in a proper condition or physical condition, so he could not welcome, but he actually welcomed with kind words and expressions. That's what we discussed in the 9th verse. So now we'll go to the 10th verse, today's verse. We're starting with the 10th one. Krishnam cha tat prabhavagna asinam jagadishwaram hridistam pujayamasa mayayopata vigraham. Lord Sri Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, yet he manifests his transcendental form by his internal potency. This very Lord was sitting before Bhishma Deva. Since Bhishma Deva knew of his glories, he worshipped him duly. There are a couple of key words here. So one is the internal potency. When Krishna comes to this world, he does not come like us. He does not come with a body made of this Pancha Mahabhut or the 5 or 8 elements that we are made up of, the gross body and the subtle body. He comes in his own transcendental form and by his own internal potency. In Bhagavad Gita as well, 4.6, Ajopi san avyayatma, bhutanam ishwaropi san, prakriti swam adhishtaya, sambhavam atma maya. Krishna is telling Arjuna, actually Arjuna asked this question. In the first 3 verses of the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that I have taught this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to the sun god. And then in the 4th verse, Arjuna asks, you are my contemporary, but sun god is so old, how is it that you taught this to him? Then Krishna says these 2 verses, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani ravaja Arjuna. You and I have taken so many lives, O Arjuna, but you do not remember all of them, but I do remember all of them. And in the next verse, he says this that Sambhavami Atma Maya. I come in my own internal potency. I manifest in my own transcendent form by my own internal potency. And in 9.11 Bhagavad Gita, Avajananti Mamudha Manushim Tanumashritam Param Bhavam Ajananto Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. Krishna is saying, people who are foolish cannot understand me when I descend in the human form. Avajananti, they do not know. Who do not know? Mudha. Manushim tanu ashritam. When I descend to this world in a human body, the fools cannot understand me. But who can understand? That was told by Yamaraja in Bhagavatam 6.3.20. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manoho Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vaiyasakir Vayam. These are the 12 Mahajanas or great devotees of the Lord who know the Bhagavata Dharma, who know the Lord, who know the real religious principle. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manoho Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vaiyasakir. So Bhishma is one of the Mahajanas who knows about the Bhagavata Dharma, why Krishna comes here and what is Krishna's plan in this world. Next verse. Panduputram Prashraya Prema Sangatam Abhyachastano Ragashray Andhi Bhutena Chakshusha. So now read the translation.
The sons of Maharaj Pandu were sitting silently nearby, overtaken with affection for their dying grandfathers. Seeing this, Bhishma Dev congratulated them with feeling. There were tears of ecstasy in his eyes, for he was overwhelmed by love and affection.
So, like we said, Bhishma Deva always wanted to see the Pandavas as rulers. So the moment he saw the Pandavas, there were tears in his eyes as he was overwhelmed also. And we also mentioned why they were wearing the golden ornaments. They came in horses and royal robes because that is the dream of Bhishma Deva, to see them as rulers, and that's why they were wearing the golden ornaments as well. In the next verse, Aho kashtam aho nyayam yadyuyam dharmanandana जीवितुम नार्हता क्लिष्टम विप्रधर्माच्युताश्रयाः.
Bhishma Deva said, "Oh, what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustice you good souls suffer, for being the sons of religion personified. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations, yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God, and religion."
Yeah. So in the previous chapter, the prayers by Queen Kunti, when Queen Kunti was praying, one of the verses that she recited was this: Vishan Mahadne Purushada Darshanad Asatsabhaya Vanavasa Krichatah Mridhe Mridhe Aneka Maharathasrato Draunyastratashtashma Hare Abhirakshita. She listed all the calamities from which Krishna saved them. Vishan, when the poison, the cake was given to Bhima. Mahagne is the fire given to, put on the lakh house. Purushada Darshana, the Hidimba Rakshasa. Asat Sabhaya, the vicious assembly where they tried to disrobe Draupadi. Asat Sabhaya, Vanavasa Kritsataha, they were sent to exile. Mridhe Mridhe, Aneka Maharathasrato. So from so many fighters in general, they were saved. And then Draunyastrata, the Drauni is Ashwathama. Ashwathama released a Brahmastra to kill them, and from that Brahmastra also they were saved. That's why Bhishma Devi is saying, "Oh, what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustices you good souls suffer for being the sons of religion personified. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations, yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God, and religion. Vipra, Dharma, Achyuta, Ashtya. Because they have taken shelter of these three things: Brahmanas, God, and religion. Vipra, Dharma, Achyuta." In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava, like humility, forgiveness, compassion. But out of the 26 qualities, there is one quality that stands out that is called as primary, and all the 25 are secondary. The one primary quality is Krishneka Sharanam. That means exclusively surrendered to Krishna. So all these Pandavas, they were surrendered exclusively to Krishna. These are the, out of these 26 qualities, this is the primary quality which they had. They had everything, but they also had this Krishneka Sharanam, which where they completely depended on Krishna's mercy. How we can also see this in the next verse. We discussed this Vishal Mahagni Purusha Darshana. In the next verse, 1:8:25, Kunti Maharani says, Vipada Sandu Dashashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru Bhavato Darshanam Yatsyat Apunar Bhava Darshanam. Meaning that these calamities, O Krishna, let them come again and again, because if they come again and again, we will see you again and again. If we see you again and again, we will not see either birth and death again. So it's not that she loves calamities, that we should not understand, okay, even we cannot think that, okay, we want calamities. Even she doesn't want calamities. She wants Krishna, right? That's why she's saying, if that means, if see the calamities mean that we see you, let the calamities come again and again. That's what she's saying. In our life also, we should understand the calamities will come. Mamupecha punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam. This world is dukhalayam and ashashvatam. So we will get miseries. Now we cannot get into the mood of being Kunti to say that let the calamities come again and again. At least when it comes by its own accord, we can accept and we can have prayerful mood that it is because this world is designed in that way. We are getting this, and we also maybe because of our past karma, we are getting a little. Krishna, instead of giving so much, Krishna is giving only a minute portion of our karma what we have to get. We can actually have that prayerful mood. Next verse. Samstite tirate pandav pratha bala prajavadhu yushmat krute bahun klesham prapta tu kavati muhu. Translation.
As far as my daughter-in-law Kunti is concerned, upon the great General Pandu's death, she became a widow with many children, and therefore she suffered greatly. And when you were grown up, she suffered a great deal also because of your actions.
Yeah. So Pandu died, and she had to take care of the children, 5 children. When Pandu died, Madri also entered fire, along with Pandu. And Kunti was all alone taking care of the 5 kids, 3 kids of hers and 2 kids of Madri's. And she also suffered greatly even after they were, grown up. We just saw what all they went through. The next verse. Sarvam kalakratam manye bhavatam cha yadapriyam sapalo yadvashe loko vayor iva ghanavale.
In my opinion, this is all due to inevitable time under whose control everyone in every planet is carried, just as the clouds are carried by the wind.
In this verse and the next verse, Bhishmadev talks about the inevitable time due to which people have to go through the miseries and happiness in meantime. It is mentioned in the purport that it is not due to the past karma of the Pandavas that they have to go through this. It is only the Krishna's plan that they are going through these miseries. We will read that in the next verse. Yatra dharma suto raja Vada panirvrkodaraha Krishna stri gandhi vamchapam Suhrat Krishna stato vipa. Translation.
Oh, how wonderful is the influence of inevitable time! It is irreversible. Otherwise, how can there be reverses in the presence of King Yudhishthira, the son of the demigod controlling religion? Bhim, the great fighter with a club, the great woman Arjun with his mighty weapon Gandhi, and above all the Lord, the direct well-wisher of the Pandavas.
So Yudhishthira was religion personified, and Bhima and Arjuna were so strong. And in fact, even Krishna himself was there directly present with them, but still they had to go through so many things. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes like this: despite the power of pious acts, the power of personalities, the power of expert management, and the power of weapons under the direct supervision of Lord Krishna, the Pandavas suffered so many practical reverses which can only be explained as due to the influence of Kala, inevitable time. Kala is identical with the Lord himself, and therefore the influence of Kala indicates the inexplicable wish of the Lord himself. So it's not that due to the past karma they had to suffer what they had to go through, but it is mentioned even in the next two verses that we will read that it is Krishna's plan, Krishna's grand plan, which we may not understand at this time, because of which Pandavas were put into those things which they went through. Next verse. Nafyasya karhichid rajan Uman vedavidipsitam yad vijignasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. One can read.
O king, no one can know the plan of the Lord Shri Krishna. Even the great philosophers inquire exhaustively if they are bewildered.
In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says in the 10th chapter, second verse, Name vidu suragana prabhavamna maharshayah. Name vidu, meaning they do not know me. Who do not know? Suragana. Suragana is the demigods. Prabhavamna maharshayah, not even the great rishis. So no one knows me completely. That's what Krishna is saying. But in Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna actually explains why he comes to this world. Paritrāṇāya sadhūnām vināṣāya ca duskritam dharma samsthapanārthāya sambhavāmi yuge yuge. To protect the devotees, the pious people, and to destroy or annihilate the demons, he appears again and again. Next verse. Tasmād idam daiva tantram vyavasya bharatarshava tasyanubhihito natha natha pahi praja prabho. Translation. O best among the descendants of Bharata, Yudhishthira, I maintain, therefore, that all this is within the plan of the Lord. Accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord, you must follow it. You are now the appointed administrative head, and my Lord, you should now take care of those subjects who are now rendered helpless. So this is the last verse for today. So basically what Bhishma Dev is saying, that this is all Krishna's plan. And we cannot understand, this is inconceivable. We should just accept and we should follow it. That's what Bhishma Dev is saying. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says the same thing to Arjuna. Tasmatvam uttishta yesho labhashva bhungshva rajyam samruddham mayai vaite nihata purvameva nimitta matram bhava sabyasachi. Nimitta matram is just be an instrument, O sabyasachi, O Arjuna. All this mayai vaite nihata purvameva. Already I have killed all these people. Drona, Karna, Bhishma. All of these people I have already killed. You just have to become an instrument and get the glory. Yasho labhasva is get the glory, get the credit of killing them, but I have already killed them. So you should just become an instrument in my hands. That's what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. And something similar, now here Bhishma Dev is saying to Yudhishthira. to be an instrument. And the best example is Bhishma Dev himself. He was an instrument in Krishna's plan. Otherwise, he was such a great devotee. He was a Mahajan. Why would he fight in the army of the Kauravas? There are many reasons, but there are a couple of reasons given, primary reasons. One is because Krishna wanted to experience the Viryaras, the fighting spirit. So that was one reason why, because all the devotees are worshipping Krishna, they are in Dasya, Sakhya, Madhurya, all these rasas, but there is no one who is ready to fight. So Krishna arranges someone to fight opposite him. So one that was one reason why Bhishma fought in the Kauravas army. And the second is Krishna wanted to give a message to everyone that how much ever powerful you are or influential you are, if you are taking the side of adharma, then you will get defeated. So there are two reasons why Bhishma fought in the army of Kauravas. But he had to go through so much. Even today, people say why Bhishma, he is such a great devotee. He fought in Kauravas army. Even they even ask, okay, why when Draupadi they tried to destroy Draupadi, why he didn't speak of dharma. But it is said that these are the reasons why Bhishma had to keep quiet. He did not say anything because it was Krishna's plan. Eventually, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, when the mother-in-law wants to teach her daughter-in-law, she teaches her through her daughter. So directly she cannot teach the daughter-in-law because she will get offended. So if something goes wrong, she will scold her daughter. In that way, she's teaching the daughter-in-law. Also, daughter-in-law sees that, and actually she learns. So that's what Srila Prabhupada says. Now we understood that we have to become instrument in Krishna's plan. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Mamaivamsha. All the living entities are part and parcels of me. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Jivera Swarupa hai Krishnera Nityadas. Meaning, our constitutional position of a living entity is to serve Krishna. Krishnera Nityadas. So when we speak of Dasa or Dasya, who do we remember first? Who is the representative of Dasya Bhav? Hanuman. Hanumanji, we will see how Hanumanji was an instrument in Lord Rama's service. Hanuman was such an instrument when, before actually jumping across the ocean to Lanka, there was a meeting and everyone was really dull, thinking how can we cross this such big ocean to go to Lanka and find Sita. At that time, Jambavan reminds Hanuman of his powers. Right? So we all know this pastime. And once he is reminded, Hanuman speaks. You know what Hanuman says? I am so strong, I can do this, I can uproot Lanka, I can jump across this thing, I can circumambulate Sumeru mountain. He says so many things. It is, the Acharyas explain, it is not that he wanted to boast of himself, but he wanted to give confidence to the monkey army. And that's why he gave. He spoke like this. He was boasting himself, apparently. The same Hanuman, when he went to the other side, when he finds Sita, he talks to Sita. And when in that conversation, he says that I am the weakest member in Rama's army. So just the opposite, right? Is it a lie? It may be, but there is a reason why he says. He says that I am the weakest person, weakest member or fighter in Rama's army. Everyone else, either they are equal to me or they are much greater than, much higher prowess than me. So there are, based on the context, based on the purpose, actually he changed. There he wanted to give the confidence to monkey army that we can do this. So he boasted of himself. And when he went to Sita Mata, he said, I am the weakest because everyone else is so greater. So it is so easy to actually come across the ocean and find you and take you back to Ayodhya. It is also said this same Hanuman So he did so much for Lord Ram. In getting back Sita, he did so much. He took a leap to Lanka. He found, and then he created terror. He put Lanka on fire. So many things he did. The same Hanuman in Mahabharata, what was his seva? Does anyone know?
He was in the flag
Exactly.
and rode along with him.
Yeah. So he had a humble service of just being on a flag and bless the Pandavas. So at that time, Hanuman did not say, just give me, why you are fighting for 18 days, give me 18 seconds, I'll finish everyone, Duryodhan, Karna, what. So he didn't say that. So whatever, whether it is uprooting the Lanka, or leaping across the ocean, or to just be on the flag and bless the Pandavas, he was ready. He was being a humble instrument in Krishna's hands. And we also see even something similar with Arjuna. Even though he was despondent, he was not confident in the beginning, and he was even confused. Once Krishna gave the knowledge, he fought according to Krishna's instruction. Karishe Vachanam Tava. In Gopi Geet, gopis are singing like this. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Jana. The translation goes like this. The nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations, transmitted by learned sages, eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most beneficent. When we hear this, who do we think of, like contemporary, if we want to see? Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most beneficent. Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. So, Srila Prabhupada, he was comfortably situated. At the age of 69, he was in Vrindavan, Radha Damodar Mandir. Everything was going fine. He could have just stayed like that. There are so many saints in Vrindavan who do not go out because they want to die in Vrindavan and then go back to Godhead. But at the age of 69, because his spiritual master had told him, he left India, he left Vrindavan and India, and then he came to the West. He traveled in a cargo ship for 36 days and he had 2 heart attacks. He didn't have any money, no support, no followers. In 1965, he came. For 1 year, he didn't get any support. He was all alone. He didn't have anything. He didn't even have money. 40 rupees or $40 to say. Maybe, I don't know. That much he had. He didn't have anything. But he came. He was all alone for 1 year. In 1966, there were some people, American boys and girls. They supported, and then this Srila Prabhupada started ISKCON. At that time, it was started here in 26 2nd Avenue in New York. He named it. It was a small room. I don't know, 10 by 10 or something. Srila Prabhupada named it International Society for Krishna Consciousness. The 10 by 10 room. Because he had that vision. So people might have laughed looking at him that this small room he is calling as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. But he had that vision, and being a humble servant, he achieved whatever he achieved. He circled the globe 14 times, giving lectures, guiding his disciples. He wrote more than 70 books, out of which the Srimad Bhagavatam is the highest. 18,000 verses he gave the commentary, and he wrote the Back to Godhead magazine. He wrote thousands of letters to his disciples, giving guidance how to run the temple. At that time, he sent his disciples also to preach in different countries. It is said when he started all this, the senior most devotee was 2 years or 3 years old, meaning 2 years or 3 years in Krishna consciousness. They used to go to other countries to preach. the right time. So he did so much. And then that's why we are sitting today in Calgary, so far from India. And then we are talking of Krishna. We have deities, we have devotees, we have instruments, we have kirtan going on. We have everything that we need to go back to Godhead. After achieving all this, in his Jaladuta diary, which he wrote when he was traveling from India to US, he says like this: Hani acho jadi Prabhu amare nachate, nachao Prabhu nachao se mate, kastera putali jatha nachao se mate. Oh Lord, I am just like puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance as you like. This is what Srila Prabhupada said. Wrote in his Jaladuta diary. He never took credit for what he has done. Whenever someone praised Srila Prabhupada, he said two things, one of the two things. One, he gave his credit to the Guru Maharaj. It is all the empowerment that is given by my Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Only because of his mercy, his empowerment, I was able to achieve whatever I achieved. Or he used to give the credit to his disciples, all these American boys and girls. Only because of their support, I could do this. Otherwise, I could not have done. So one of these is to either to Guru Maharaj or to his disciples, he used to give the credit. This is one example, or for us, because it is recently happened and it directly impacted our life also. We can see how he became, the humble instrument in Krishna's hand. So how we can become an instrument in Krishna's plan? There are 5 S's of bhakti. The first S is sadhu sangha. In the Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Tulayama lagenapi na swargyam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim utashisha. Sadhu sangha is Tulayama lagenapi. Even a moment of devotee association is so great that forget about the heavenly planets. What to speak of the heavenly planets, or even liberation is very small when we compare the association, even a moment association with devotees. Martyanam kim utashisha. Forget about what the worldly benefits, even the heavenly benefits what we get is nothing. That much important is sadhu sangha. So only when we come in sadhu sangha, we can try to learn whatever the other processes are. There are 5 S's I said: sadhu sangha, sadhana, seva, swadhyaya, and sadachara. These are the 5 S's. The first S is sadhu sangha. With this, we can do everything else. Taking association of the devotees of Krishna. The second S is sadhana. Sadhana is our hearing and chanting. So we discussed in detail a month ago what to hear, how frequently to hear. Everything we discussed in detail about hearing, which is Shravanam. We also have heard many shlokas: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. The 9 processes, but these are the 2 basic processes, the primary processes that we have: hearing and chanting. Only when we hear, we can even chant or glorify. Chanting has multiple meanings. Either it can be japa, it can be kirtan, or it can be the glorification of Krishna. So the sadhana, we should have daily sadhana. In ISKCON, we do minimum of 16 rounds and the 4 regulative principles. And we also hear regularly we hear from Srila Prabhupada, and so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada are there. In YouTube, so many lectures are available. We can hear from them. This is sadhana. And the third S is seva. Seva, whatever skills, talents, and facilities we have, we can try to engage that in Krishna service. There are so many services available in temple itself. We can cook for Krishna, we can sing for Krishna. We can connect with new people. We can do book distribution. There are so many we can do the cleaning of temple. There are so many services available in temple. So much seva is available in temple. So we should try to engage ourselves in Krishna's service. And the fourth S is Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is reading scriptures. Now we are in the month of December. All over ISKCON we distribute Bhagavad Gita and all other Srila Prabhupada's books. We go out and distribute. We give so much importance to distributing the books of Srila Prabhupada. Equally important is that we read ourselves. Right? We should distribute, definitely we should distribute the books of Prabhupada. But equally important or more important is to read the books ourselves. The Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. There are so many books, Science of Self-Realization. There are so many books written by Srila Prabhupada. We just discussed before when we were talking about Prabhupada that he wrote more than 70 books. But actually, how many of us have read even at least 10 books or 5 books completely? So we should have this habit of reading scriptures, reading the books. The fifth S is Sadachara, which is Vaishnava behavior. Starting from how when we enter temple, there was a detailed class in the etiquette we should follow when we come to temple. When we come to temple, first we should offer obeisances to the Vaishnavas and then to Srila Prabhupada and to the deities here. And we do the Dandavat Pranam, the Sashtanga Namaskar here to Krishna. And then even how we should talk, sit, behave, everything is there in the Vaishnava etiquette, which is very important. If we do the first 4 and we do not do the 5th one, then it is of not much use. If we are doing the Sadhu Sangha, Sadhana, Seva and Swadhyaya and forget Sadachara, if we do not behave properly in temple with devotees, then Krishna will not be happy. Srila Prabhupada will not be happy. That's why there is a lot of stress on Sadachara, Vaishnava behavior. If we see even the instructions given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tranadapi Shunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. The first thing, Tranadapi Shunichena, meaning you should be humble like a blade of grass. In Bhagavad Gita 13.8 to 12, Krishna speaks a lot of things which he declares should to be knowledge. The first thing is Amanitvam. Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Kshanti, Arjavam. Amanitvam means humility. Even we see in Padyavali composed by Rupa Goswami, there is a verse, Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayor Dasa Dasanudasa. So I identify myself as the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord, who is a protector of the gopis. In Bhagavad Gita, we see that Krishna became a chariot driver of Arjuna. In this world, if we see being a driver is not a great thing to be, right? But even in Srimad Bhagavatam, when Ashwatthama released Brahmastra, Arjuna starts praying, Krishna Krishna Mahabhaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara. So that's when Krishna is introduced. Krishna comes into picture. Even then, Krishna is chariot driver. If Krishna, who is Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Suradam Sarvabhutanam, who is the master of everything that is there, if he can become a chariot driver, then we should all introspect. Why are we proud? Why are we becoming, why are we thinking that we are so great and all that? Compared to Krishna, one time, Srila Prabhupada saw that one of his disciples became very proud of his talents or services or whatever. That time he asked him to get a globe. And then he marked, so this is US, the United States of America. And then this is New York. And in this is this area. And this is this building, our building where we are staying. This is this room we are staying. And in this room you are one person. And this is one planet. Like this, there are innumerable planets, millions and millions of planets. And this is in the material world, which is 1/4 of the entire creation, and the 3/4 is the spiritual world. This entire thing is a creation. So this is how insignificant we are. So we have to do all these 5 S's that we just discussed. But the most important is a sadachar, along with other 4 we discussed. So practicing these 5 S's, we can become a humble instrument in Krishna's plan. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, reflections, or corrections? Yes, sir. Thank you. Hare Krishna. What was the time today?